Hello, moviegoers! Welcome to another episode of CritiCarter, the show where I turn you into a cinephile. This weekend, I saw the new film, The Watch, directed by Akiva Shaffer, co-written by Jared Stern, Seth Rogen, and Evan Goldberg, and starring Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, and Richard Ayoade.
Oh, Jonah Hill. You don't like Jonah Hill, do you?
When did I ever say I don't like Jonah Hill?
I don't know.
I think Jonah Hill has tremendous capacity as an actor.
Yeah, but you always say, okay. Why are you shushing me? He likes when I talk.
You always interrupt him.
The viewers like when you talk.
Oh.
In this film, four men concerned about their neighborhood to varying degrees decide to join together and form a task force, and in the process, stumble across a plan by aliens to take over the world. It's been a year that I've been sitting in front of this camera and talking about movies, so I'm just going to cut right to the punch with this one. I walked out. About 70 minutes into this film, I left. I just could not take it anymore. For the most part, though, it was not because of the film itself, so at least there's that. The film has a myriad of problems, unfortunately. The script is completely shoddy and never gets past shooting for the lowest common denominator type of humor. And while I wouldn't say it has plot holes per se, the logic involved in the events is shoddy at best. The characters are absolutely unbelievable. Stiller, for example, plays your stereotypical white guy who has a bunch of token friends. Vaughn is quite possibly less intelligent than is possible for any adult human being who holds down a job that allows him to make a lot of money. You guys know what Russian nesting dolls are, right? They're the big thing, intricately designed, and inside there's a smaller version of the thing, and a smaller version, and a smaller version. Vince Vaughn's character in this movie stumbles across one of these for the first time, no idea what it is whatsoever, and just has his mind blown every time he realizes there's a smaller version of the thing inside of the thing. I mean, he's looking at it like it's, the Higgs boson particle or the cure for cancer or something like that. It's just, boop, boop, boop.
You don't find humor in that?
No. I think that we as a society have hit a low point when this is supposed to be a typical human being. Jonah Hill, who, as I said, I have tremendous respect for, who I think has wonderful, remarkable potential, continues to make terrible choices in the films that he acts in. And The Watch is no exception. If you want to be taken seriously as an actor, Jonah, please, please, please stop doing movies like this. I know you and Seth and Evan go way back to Superbad, but you gotta learn to let go one day. Brings me to Richard Ayoade. If you all haven't seen the wonderful British television series The IT Crowd, please stop watching this video, go to Netflix and check it out. Ayoade has a wonderful role on this show, but it would be really nice to see him play a different type of character, which in this movie, he unfortunately fails at. He has directed a film, Submarine, earlier this year. He has a second one coming up down the road, starring Jesse Eisenberg, which I'll probably be looking forward to a lot more than I was to watch. Billy Crudup, who some of you might remember from Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen film, and playing the role of the son whose name I currently forget in Big Fish, also appears in this film, and he had the good sense not to have his name in the credits. That should tell you something. There's also a subplot about Ben Stiller's character not being able to have kids. Maybe it's just because I walked out a little over an hour into it, but it didn't seem to be going anywhere. I really don't know how you could tie that in with the alien invasion and not have it seem clumsy at best. The soundtrack is absolutely abysmal. It's like the problem that I had with The Amazing Spider-Man, except with a soundtrack instead of a score. There wasn't a single song that they picked that was remotely appropriate for the scene it was being used. I'd love to give some examples, but, spoilers, etc., etc. Oh, one more thing. Like I said, I did walk out of the movie mostly not because it was so terrible, but because of other audience members and their inappropriate actions. I've already gone over how I feel about people having conversations in movie theaters that can be overheard by other members of the audience. Also, if there's a name in the opening credits and that person appears in the film at a certain point, there's no need to get excited about it. There's no need to thump the chair in front of you and shout that person's name loudly. You're not helping anybody, okay? At the end of the day, The Watch gets a miserable, pathetic 1 out of 5 confused interrogation suspects. The only right thing that this movie does is Doug Jones. For the uninitiated, Doug Jones is the guy you go to when you need somebody to play someone that's not quite human. He was the Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four sequel. He played Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. I managed to meet him a couple years back. He's a tremendously nice guy, and he's incredibly skilled. And when you first see an alien in this film, he's played by none other than Doug Jones. So, good job, Akiva Shaffer of The Lonely Island. You managed to do one thing right. Hopefully, your next movie turns out better than this. You can check out last week's review of The Dark Knight Rises up over there. Next week, I'll be seeing the new film, or the new version, rather, of Total Recall starring Colin Farrell. That review will be up over there once it's finished. Be sure to like and favorite the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and remember, as always, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all as CritiCarter. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go watch Batman again.
Really?
Yes. Really. Fade to black.